Sandro.
Yo, what's up?
I have a little story for you to start off this episode.
Oh, a story. I love a good story. Is it a story about dragons?
No.
Is it a story about the troll that lives underneath the bridge that you've got to pay to cross the bridge?
No, you're thinking too fantasy. It's actually like the story that we watched today, an action story.
You went to Vietnam and you... Oh, no.
No, not quite.
Good. I'm glad, honestly.
Yeah, I was at work. It was near the end of my shift, so it was very quiet. I was on my phone waiting for my shift to end.
Yep.
And then a guy walks in.
Ooh.
He asked me where the goon's at.
Ooh, love a goon. I love a goon
Yeah,
bag.
because he's a young man. He's after some goon. So I showed him where the goon was.
Yep.
I was like, oh yeah, it's just over here.
Yeah, that's nice.
I went back to, get ready to serve the customer, and he pulls out the goon. Mm-hmm. He just starts walking off. Yeah.
He probably wasn't of age. He couldn't purchase it, so he was like, I just may as well walk out, save you some trouble.
I mean, yeah, it's quite possible. So I come over to him, because I'm not very far away, and I'm like, hey, you can't walk out with that. That'd be stealing. And he's like, nah, I came in with it.
It's only you two in the shop, right? It's only you two in the shop.
It's only us two.
So you're like, that doesn't sound right.
I kind of saw you take that out.
Yeah.
How about you give that back to me, and I'll go check the cameras. If you, in fact, brought it in, then you can have it back.
You're a reasonable man. You're not like Judge Dredd out here, like being like, I'm the law, I'm gonna shoot you just because you're lying. You're like, I'm gonna give you a fair trial.
I could be mistaken.
Exactly.
I could have not seen him take the goon bag after I directed him to said goon bag out of the fridge.
Of course.
And he actually brought one in.
Yeah.
And I just completely missed that.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm going to need him to give me the goon bag. And of course, he doesn't want to do that.
No.
So I grabbed the goon bag off him. This may have been a mistake. Because his hands were occupied with the goon bag. They were carrying the goon bag. He was also eating tuna.
Ew.
He was stealing goon at the time, so it was weird that he was eating.
That's a bit weird.
Anyway, so one hand's eating tuna, the other hand's stealing goon.
Yeah.
So when I took the goon off him, it freed up a hand.
Oh no, so he gave you the middle finger.
He did a little more than that. He punched me in the face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's not good. Why am I laughing?
Yeah, because it was kind of funny, because this was all over like a $10 goon bag
that
I got punched in the face the other week. The worst bit was, he didn't only punch me in the face, he tried to knee me in the chest.
Oh.
Fortunately, but also unfortunately, the goon bag was in the way.
So we need a goon bag.
So we need the goon bag, which busted the goon bag, and it sprayed all over me.
That is pretty funny.
And I was covered head to foot in goon. And then he just walked off, and I'm like, you know what? I may have been punched in the face, but being covered in goon was definitely the worst part of this transaction.
Because then you have to go home. Like, you probably not go on public transport at that point. You order an Uber.
And that was my Friday.
Well, that interaction gets an oldie from me, dog.
Speaking of which, welcome to Oldie but a Goodie, the show where we talk about getting punched in the face at work. I'm Zach, and in pain, and this is my co-host, Sandro.
I'm also in pain, but for different reasons. I ate a spicy burger just before, and it was way too spicy.
Was it a good burger, though? That's the real question.
It was alright. What are we what are we talking about this week?
We're talking about a great movie. Just an action movie. Great, maybe a stretch, called Missing in Action. Starring the good old Chuck to the Norris.
Oh.
The Chucky boy.
Yeah.
He has more than two fists, because he's got fists under his beard.
He does.
That he can punch you with. That's a Chuck Norris thing.
We got a couple of things to get through up top, but first impressions of this thing that you made us watch.
You sound so depressed.
Look, it's not bad. It's not an awful piece of garbage.
You sound like you're dying on the inside. You're like,
I was watching this being very aware of Chuck Norris's So Bad They Good category films, which is pretty much all of them. Yeah. But this one was just kind of boring. So that was my thoughts. I was just kind of bored.
Yeah, apparently the second one's way better than this one.
Oh, okay.
But I will say, that this one has its moments.
I wrote down the 3-act structure if you're interested. This is the movie.
Oh, yeah, go for
it. Broken down to its simplest parts. Spoilers. Chuck goes to Vietnam. That's Act 1.
Yep.
He goes to Vietnam. Act 2, he gets kicked out of Vietnam and is like, oh, I need to buy stuff to get back into Vietnam. Act 3, he gets back into Vietnam and then goes, oh, I gotta bloody leave Vietnam. And then the movie ends. It's the movie.
Well, it's not him leaving. He's gonna rescue some dudes. Chuck Norris enters and leaves Vietnam.
Up top, we're halfway through November. Do you know what that means? It's time to be like, what are we doing next year on the podcast? Season 3 of Oldie but Goodie. Are we ending the show or are we continuing to go? Apparently, we're going to keep going.
I mean, yeah, you just sort of sprung that on me. Yet you're just assuming we're going to... Well, I might be done.
Yeah.
After being, through all this pain and suffering that these movies have brought me through. More painful than a punch in the face, by the way.
Some of them are.
I'll probably do another one. Why not?
One more year, we say, and then next year, one more year.
Yeah, one more year. One more year. We just say that. We'll have this discussion every year, and we'll end it with one more year. One more year. Yeah.
So, because we appreciate you, the audience, we have got 4 options for years, and you have got to pick which one we do.
Wow, that's more than 2. I'm going to struggle.
What are the options that they can vote for?
So you've got Trump, Biden...
No, the election was 2 weeks ago.
Whoops. Damn,
we definitely know what the outcome of that was while we're recording. We don't bank these.
Stop referencing the banking! God damn it, Sandra. You're breaking the immersion. Listener, if you're listening right now, we're doing this live.
We're doing this live.
We're live.
We're not going to comment on who the president of the United States is until next week.
or we just don't get political at all. That's probably the best.
We probably won't do that, no.
So your actual options are, starting from the oldiest, and possibly the goodiest, we got 1977.
Do you want to hear some of the films that came out in 1977?
Yeah, absolutely, go. So, Sandra, what can we look for in this lovely candidate here, 1977?
Oh, only the first bloody Star Wars movie.
Whoa, Star Wars, I've heard of that franchise. That franchise is still going to this day.
Yeah.
Some would say, unfortunately.
Nah, Mandalorian's great. I still like episode 7 and 8, though. I still think they're pretty
7.
good. But that came out then. Close Encounters of the Third Kind also came out. So did that Disney movie called The Rescuers, which is 2 mice, and they're like, we're going to rescue people. It's a cool movie.
Let's get back to talking about Star Wars.
No, I'm sick of talking about Star Wars.
Derail the podcast.
I'm sick of it. Stop talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair. 1987.
Yeah.
This year offers many good movies, such as...
I don't know why I'm starting with Hellraiser, because it's not the best movie that came out that year, but Hellraiser came out in 87.
Yeah.
So did the first RoboCop. I think the best
RoboCop.
movie of that year has got to be The Princess Bride, though. That's a classic.
Oh, The Princess Bride. Dude.
And also, every single year on this podcast, we've done 2 Arnie movies. We did 2 Arnie movies last year. We've done 2 Arnie movies this year.
It's a tradition.
If we do 87, we got Predator and we got The Running Man. 2 Arnie movies.
Wow. There. Yeah. Predator. Yeah, that's a good lineup. RoboCop, Predator, The Princess Bride.
There's Evil Dead 2, Harry and the Hendersons.
Ah, yes, and I really want to see Harry and the Hendersons, just so we could go on the podcast and go, why? Speaking of scraping the bottom of the barrel, it's 1993.
Ooh, a prequel to our first year.
Yeah, we're going back to the back.
Ooh.
And
these movies.
Hey, we got Jurassic Park, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Jurassic Park, Hocus Pocus is apparently really good as well. Nightmare Before Christmas, classic.
Ooh, yeah. And we do love our Christmas horror movies.
We do.
Big fans.
But then there's also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, and Coneheads, and Dragon Ball Z, Super Broly, the legendary something. But then there's also Wayne's World 2, so I don't know.
Coneheads, though. Oh, Miss Doubtfire.
Oh, that's a classic.
Can't forget about Miss Doubtfire.
I wonder how problematic that is today. Probably not very, but also probably very.
Speaking of problematic, it's 2005. Wow. not exactly oldie but a goodie, but oh boy, were there some films that will feel like oldies.
There's some good ones. Batman Begins, classic. Love that. Constantine, great movie. Revenge of the Sith, not very well made, but there's some good moments. Goblet of Fire.
Wow.
Very fun film to talk about.
Kronk's New Groove?
Oh, I love
Hell
that movie.
yeah.
Oh, then you've also got Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Sky High.
V for Vendetta?
Oh.
Dude, the nostalgia is going to be high.
The animated movie Robots.
Dude, I loved robots as a child.
Oh, the Doom movie that absolutely
Hitchhiker's
sucks.
Guide to the Galaxy?
Oh, good film.
Madagascar?
Oh, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Dude, we got to do the 2000s at some point.
Yeah, we will. Oh, Zathura. I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great year. I think if we do 2005, it's just going to be us being like, oh, damn, these things I used to like suck now.
No. They always sucked, Sandro.
They always sucked.
And I knew they sucked, and I enjoyed them anyway.
No, Shark Boy and Lava Girl was always the greatest movie of all time.
Ooh.
So those are your 4 options. You can go and vote now if you want. There is a Survey Monkey in the episode description, so right at the top. So click that and go and vote. Also, if you listen to this episode within 24 hours of it being published, go to my Instagram. You could vote there as well. I think we'll probably leave it open for, 2 weeks maybe?
Yeah, 2 weeks seems like a good amount of time. We'll remind people on the next episode, and then on the last episode we go, ha, you missed it.
You missed it.
Hey, Lamau.
Let's do this. Missing in action. So your other options for this week were Just the Way You Are. A successful flute player with a lame right leg has to decide whether or not she should tell the man she's dating.
Definitely sounded like a better film with a great plot. Honestly, might have been worse than this film.
I don't know. I really want to know what goes through her mind when she's decides whether or not she should be like, my right leg is lame. How do you hide that? Anyway, you also had Night of the Comet, sci-fi horror comedy about a comet that either turns people into dust or zombies. I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't figure it out.
Which definitely sounded pretty good. Like, that one I kind of wish we had done.
Night Patrol, policeman wants to be a stand-up comedian who does his stand-up with a paper bag over his head. Whatever, I don't care. And then also, special effects. A woman is cast in a movie which is based off a murder that the director actually committed. Okay, it was released November 16th, though, directed by a guy called Joseph Zito, best known for doing horror before this. He's done 3 films before this that are all cult classics. Blood Rage, The Prowler, but he also directed another film in 1984 called Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter.
Oh, yeah?
After this, he did a lot of garbage action movies.
Hey, before this, he did a lot of garbage action movies, Lamau.
That's true. You probably noticed during this, though, that there's a large portion where someone's watching a Spider-Man cartoon.
Yes. Is that a reference to himself? Is that a selfie? Is that a self-referential?
That's a reference.
Wow.
Yep, he was working on a Spider-Man movie at the time that never happened.
Oh.
So he was like, I'll put Spider-Man in this movie.
I thought it was interesting.
For the cast, Chuck Norris is Colonel James Braddock. Chuck Norris being the guy that fought Bruce Lee in The Way of the Dragon and then made a career out of being known as that guy that fought Bruce Lee in The Way of the Dragon. His name was already pretty big at this point.
I've had a lot of people say that this was his, breakout role.
I think this was his mainstream breakout. Before then, I think he was doing a lot of lower budget action.
I think it might have been him as the main character.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Whereas normally he's the bad guy that Bruce Lee has to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that,
My personal favorite in this movie is M. Emmett Walsh as Jack Tucker. He's from Blade Runner. He's from Knives Out, Blood Simple. He's great. He's fun. He's funny and everything. And then also, playing one of the generals is James Hong, who was in the original Hawaii Five-0, and also Blade Runner, Big Trouble in Little China. He's been working for, decades. He's a cool dude.
That's cool.
19% on Rotten Tomatoes. Somehow got an audience score of 42, though. 5.5 on IMDb. Critics said that Chuck Norris did a good job, but this movie is just a Rambo ripoff.
Yeah, it's not wrong. Literally, half the reviews were like, have you seen Rambo 2? Yeah. Anybody?
Anyone?
Rambo 2? Anyone? No?
Anyone seen that film?
Glad no one's seen that, because otherwise it makes this movie look worse.
It really does. Have you seen Rambo 2?
No.
Well, that's probably why you like this movie.
I didn't say I like this movie.
We don't know how much this cost because it was filmed back to back with the second one, but it's somewhere between $1.5 and $3 million. What do you think it made?
7?
Higher, actually.
Oh, okay. 12.
$22.8 million.
Wow. Okay, much higher than I thought. Did really well.
Quite a bit. It opens in the jungle, and it's all nice and calm, and you're like, oh, it's the lovely jungle.
But Sandro.
Oh, you.
That font, though. You love, and this is a fact, Sandro loves big, bold, blue letters. He's a huge fan of just big blue letters as the font.
Yeah.
As in Speed, your favourite font
Well,
so far.
Speed is a special case, but yeah, this isn't as incredible as Speed.
Yeah.
I personally loved how all the credits were this nice, like, Terminator font.
Yes.
But then the name of the film comes up, and it's just ugly.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like that's the idea. It's got a bit of dirt, a bit of grit on the sides, although it is weirdly angled.
It really is.
But it's blue, and it was bold, and I was like, haha, Speed font, haha. Sandro's gonna be like, poo-poo.
Poo-poo. So you've got that up on screen, but then, you've also got the jungle.
But then we get into the jungle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, ooh, lovely, calm jungle. But then the jungle is interrupted with gunfire. And you're like, ooh, not a lovely jungle after all. This is a death jungle.
If you thought this was a lovely... Yeah, if you thought this was a lovely jungle, you clearly didn't look at the title of the film, or any of the cast, or what genre it was in.
No.
Or the synopsis.
No. Well, I forget everything after we finish recording.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I had no idea what I was going to watch.
Wow.
I was just going to press play on a file.
That would have been exciting.
It didn't take me long to get a quote, because we've got Chuck Norris running through the jungle going, move it! Come on, move it, come on, move it. It's like a video game. Come on.
Yeah.
Move it.
I thought you were going to break out in a song there. Come on, now move it. Now move it. Now move it.
Yeah.
You're going to die. It's Vietnam. You're going to die. Move it.
Move it.
Move it. Yep.
It's just a lot of action at the start, but it ends in the best ways. Like, how does this opening sequence end?
So we'll see this fight in Vietnam, but to really finish it off on a bang, he gets out two grenades, pulling the pins and putting one in each hand. Then he jumps into the fray with 2 grenades in hand, and then it just cuts away. What? Did he die? He didn't throw the grenades. No. He jumped in while holding a grenade in each hand. Like he physically leaps towards the enemy.
Holding grenades.
But then it just cuts away like he survived that somehow.
Well, that's what I'm confused about as well, because, like, we cut to him in bed in America, after the war.
Yep.
So was that a dream or was that a flashback? I think it was a dream, right? It has to be a dream.
Yeah, I'd say it's a dream.
Yeah.
He would have died.
It's such a strange opening sequence. In many ways, it's the biggest action sequence of the movie, and you just open with this great action.
So he's like a war vet from Vietnam that is now going to Vietnam.
Yes.
Because the president, question mark, and the I don't know what the lady is. What is the lady supposed to be?
Yeah, at some point she says that she's there to keep an eye on him, but then at the start, when we first see her, she's very much working with the president or whoever he is.
I think that's just like a nominatory role they've given her. Like, you gotta keep an eye on this while you're here.
Probably.
She fails completely in that aspect. She literally does nothing to stop him. But so we have Chuck Norris going around Vietnam. He bumps into his good old friend, Mr. Stabbed Me in the Guts in the War.
Yeah, so we then get flashbacks to the time when he was held in a Vietnamese war camp, and this guy was torturing him. And so the guy that was torturing him is now working with the general of Vietnam.
Can I mention that this movie, I feel like it hasn't aged well.
What do you mean?
This might be the oldiest of. It was a different time.
Yeah, look, war films about Vietnam.
Yeah.
None of them, like, they're all kind of packed with, like, stuff that makes you kind of go, ooh.
Yeah.
But that was the mentality back then, though, was, like, communism and, you know, Vietnam in particular, real evil places.
Yeah, bad place.
Yeah.
So this definitely made me cringe at points when they focus on the enemy
Yeah.
and how evil they are.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the movie, we just murder soldiers doing their job. And I was like, oh.
There's a lot of stuff like that, and it's like, obviously this was probably written by someone who was, like, super pro-war, I guess. I don't know. It's tough with these old war movies, because they're just propaganda.
Yeah.
There's so many weird moments at this, like, opening moment, though. Like, we then cut to a conference. We cut to a conference where the general of Vietnam is talking to the president or whoever it is, the Americans, and they're talking about all the various war crimes that Chuck Norris apparently committed.
I believe him.
Yeah, Chuck Norris would commit war crimes, you're right.
I mean, like, maybe to save his friends. Or look, we don't know. Maybe they're lying. Maybe he was just a soldier holding grenades in his hand and leaping into the fray. Is that a war crime? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Should it be? Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, no one's going to do that because they're not going to end up with hands
No.
or a life after that.
The thing about Chuck Norris, though, as an action hero that I've always kind of loved is that he doesn't have a particularly, like, scary voice. Like, Arnie, Stallone, they've got, like, very powerful voices. Chuck Norris is just kind of like, hey, what's up? I'm a dude.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have, like, a very distinct grading. It's just like a general American.
In fact, even someone in this movie says, you have to be the most underdramatic man I have ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sneaks off at night after the lady invites him over.
Yeah, to have a couple glasses of wine. And he's like, ooh,
Getting all
wine.
frisky. So he brings over the champagne, and then he gets changed. And she's like, oh my god, I just wanted to have some drinks. Why are you getting naked? Ah!
And then he puts on his quote-unquote stealth clothes.
Yep.
Which are black trousers, a turtleneck skivvy. Does he put on a beanie as well?
I don't remember.
But that's, like, literally what he does. He's like, I'm just putting on my stealth costume.
Yeah. But he doesn't want to be watched because he's shy. Question mark.
Turn around. There's a line in this scene that alluded to the fact that he's apparently 28 years old in this movie.
Alright.
It's a bit weird.
I know you've always hated when they get actors which are very clearly older than what they say they are.
I was just like, why point it out? He doesn't look 28. Just be like, you're a dude.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be 28 either. He could be 50 for all I care. It doesn't matter.
So dumb.
Isn't he supposed to be a war vet?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I guess they would have gotten recruited quite young.
Yeah, obviously, but
Still a bit weird.
I didn't notice that part, so yeah, no, that does seem dumb. Anyway, he goes and sneaks to the, like...
Oh, yeah, the general's bedroom.
Yeah, the general of Vietnam, whatever he is.
Yeah, in his bedroom. This is when it started getting so bad it's good for me. Particularly, like, the soundtrack was terrible, but very funny. Like, whenever he, like, sneaks around, there's, like, a sound effect, like, something like that. It goes on forever, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely noticed with this movie it was very long. These things seemed very dragged out. The action scenes and other things. There was a lot of space where they could have just skipped over it.
Yeah.
Right near the end, when he's sneaking into the base, there's a lot of scouting as he pulls out explosives and stuff. That needed to be maybe 20 seconds, and it went on for like 5 minutes of him pulling out explosives. Next scene.
Yeah.
Cutting into the base. Next scene, he's in the base placing explosives. Which I feel like you could cut out half an hour of this film and it would be way better.
Yeah. The thing with, like, a movie like this is I feel like part of it is made for ex-soldiers as well. Like,
yeah. There's a lot of, like, tension and stuff in that, which is good. Okay.
Yeah.
The dragged out, not necessarily a bad thing in the action scenes, because it's very tense, you know, you feel the tension and stuff. But also, there was a lot Full stop. There was a lot.
It went on for forever.
Yeah, maybe not half an hour, but like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Could be cut out.
I was very bored, for a lot of this movie.
It was like, pause, action, 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 pause.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he gets into a hotel and you wait for him to open the... It's like that Indiana Jones scene. In the Indiana Jones one, where there's an assassin in the closet or whatever, there's something going on. He's like talking to himself, being like, oh, then, surprise, there's a bad guy.
Yeah.
In that one, we just see him, Chuck Norris, walking around.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well, is like that great Indiana Jones scene, obviously Harrison Ford isn't going to die, but there are stakes in that scene where you're like, this guy, quite obviously a match for Indiana Jones. In this movie, everyone that Chuck Norris comes up against, he just kind of knocks out with a chop. Like, there's no stakes at all, ever.
No, but what about the boat being blown up, with being shot at?
Oh, the Kevlar raft.
Yeah, impervious to bullets.
Wow. Maybe just, I don't know, like, not aim at the bottom of the boat?
Yeah.
That might kill the people on top of it. I don't know, just saying.
I don't know.
We'll get to that dumb thing. So he sneaks into the general dude's bedroom and is like, tell me where the MIA camps are. Because that's been a big part of this, the Vietnamese army are apparently holding American soldiers in these missing in action camps. So that's why Chuck Norris is there to go save them.
Yeah.
So he gets the general dude to tell him where the camps are.
After he sneaks in and, like, threatens him with a knife.
Yeah.
This was very like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm rooting for my good guy at the moment.
Well, that's the thing, again, is like, we are so far removed from the war.
Yes.
And this is like literally a fantasy war movie.
Yes.
Where it's like, we wish that we could go and do this.
Yeah, well...
As Americans, we wish that we could, go and do this based off rumors that are happening at the moment.
Yeah.
So because we're so far removed from that, for us it's like, ooh, this still hasn't aged well because these are stereotypes and also...
Yeah, there's a lot of stereotypes in this movie, which kind of sucks.
And I'm not, like, defending this movie, I'm just kind of, I don't know.
Pointing it out, yeah. I definitely think, spoiler alert, I'm going to rate it an oldie, and it's because of these sort of things, and there's better movies out there. But apparently the next movies, the sequel and the prequel, are actually really good. Much better than this movie, so that's good.
So he's going to leave the general's room, but the general pulls a gun on him, so he
kills him.
Yeah.
He throws a knife. He's a good knife thrower. We see it throughout the movie.
He is.
It's a good stealth weapon.
Then it takes 20 minutes for him to get back to the apartment.
Yeah, he sneaks around. He has to, like, dodge, patrols and other things. The bad guys are running after him because he's murdered the guy, but they find him...
Yeah, they see that the general is dead, so they run to where they think that he is, which is her bedroom, expecting him not to be there, But they arrive there and he is there, and they're like, oh, guess you didn't kill the general then.
Yep, because you're banging this girl.
Yep.
A. Lamau.
He just tears her top off, and I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, no. The woman roles in movies. She was there to stop him leaving. She fails at that. She's there to get her top ripped off. And then she's in the last part of the movie. Ugh. Yay, great female lead.
There is a lot wrong with this movie.
Yes, unfortunately. But we haven't got to the action yet, and the action's pretty good.
Yes, actually.
I'll give the action that. I quite liked the action. I don't know if it was the best action ever, but I quite enjoyed the action.
Yeah. So now the general is the guy that held him prisoner, I guess, because he was second in command. So he assumes control, and he tells Chuck Norris to leave Vietnam and never come back. You're banished from this country.
Yep. Which is fair.
Definitely. So he then goes to Thailand to go and see his old buddy, Jack Tucker.
Good old Tucker. And I like Tucker because we know two things about him. We know that he's American and that he likes hookers.
Yep.
Also, he's a coward.
Sort of. There's a great scene where Chuck is in a bar and he's like, I'm looking for my friend Jack Tucker. And then the person at the bar is like, well, he'll be here any second. Then Jack Tucker just comes flying down off the roof.
The perfect intro for a character.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good. It's good.
And, like, crashes into one of the tables. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, there we go, thank you.
So then we spend 20 minutes of them just collecting, like, weapons and stuff to go back into Vietnam with.
Yeah. So they get the dinghy, which is...
Kevlar raft. Oh, no. The boat, yeah.
The boat, which is armed against pirates, ?
Yep.
Which is why it has lots of guns.
Yep.
And is not a pirate ship itself, ?
No.
And it's one, like, super loyal crew member.
It's just one guy.
Yeah, it's
He's
just one
great.
guy.
He's the real hero of that movie. That one guy on the run.
Yeah, honestly, he's the best character in the film.
He goes and he gets this, like, Kevlar raft, this bulletproof raft from this arms dealsman, but it's too expensive. The raft is, like, he's asking too much for this raft.
Oh my god. The way Chuck Norris haggles throughout this film is by threatening people.
He just points the machine gun at him and is like, well, how much did you say it was?
And the guy's like, 10,000.
This guy is not a hero. He's...
Well, he's a hero in a way. He's not exactly a nice guy to deal with. No. That's for sure.
That scene was hilarious.
Yeah. He points the machine gun of the boat at him and is like, yeah, what's that price again? And he's like, nope. Oh dear.
Oh, he hires a helicopter as well, which is very important.
He buys a helicopter that comes in literally at the end. It's the Eagles.
What was the plan with the helicopter? Because it was obvious that they were trying to escape on boat.
I think that the helicopter was going to pick them up from the boat.
That's what I was thinking as well, yeah.
Yeah, but in better circumstances was the idea.
Yeah.
Because they'd take the boat to get away from the army base so that the helicopter wouldn't be shot down.
But what actually happens is the boat gets blown up, so they have to escape via the helicopter.
Yeah, via the helicopter, yeah.
This is the one scene that I think, like, was really good and really worked, was when he's in his house, and then there's these two guys next door that, like, fire an RPG at his apartment, and the whole room explodes, and we cut to the civilians on the street.
Yeah.
And they're, like, bleeding, and they're yelling, and there's, like, a dead kid that these parents are carrying, crying.
I was like damn.
Yeah.
Suddenly brutal realism.
It's a pretty horrific scene, and I think it's the only scene in the movie that actually captures, like, war.
Yeah. It's not Chuck Norris saving everyone with his pinky finger and a grenade. You know, it's he got shot at, he survived, but he's not the only one there, and other people were casualties.
But then it's immediately ruined by the new general guy being like, oh, he escaped, well, now it's personal, and then it just turns into this dumb action film.
Okay, so, he drives to the docks.
Yeah.
In a big old truck, they drive to the docks, but they get followed by, like, secret agent, Vietnam elite secret agents, whatever they are. And there's a big car chase action scene, which I thought was pretty fun.
It was good. I liked it.
There was a lot of jump cuts and weird angles.
A little bit of slow-mo.
But yeah, it was a good action scene where they're chasing around these cars. Chuck Norris rams a car off a pier. I called that as soon as the cars appeared at the pier that they were going to get rammed off.
Yeah, of course.
It finishes with Tucker taking the boat, like starting it up.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris playing like sort of semi-chicken with the other car. And then jumping last second.
Yeah.
And the cars both fly off the pier.
Yeah, but for some reason, the new general, is in Thailand hunting them down, and then he gets on the boat.
I think he's been following them.
But then he gets on the boat, and then he's got an axe, so they kind of like...
Yeah, so he's the general, the army general dude, personally sneaks on to Chuck Norris's boat to try and kill him.
Yeah, because it's personal now. We get that line. Well, now it's personal.
Yeah. Now it's personal. God damn it.
So
now
bad.
It's personal should be removed from every movie. That line.
Yeah.
Now it's personal. No. No. Stop justifying doing something stupid because it's personal.
Exactly.
So he hops on the boat and tries to kill Chuck Norris with an axe. But Chuck Norris chops the axe in half with his fist.
Yep.
And then wrestles with him and uses his own axe head against the guy.
And he slowly stabs him with an axe, because that's how an axe works. You can slowly stab stabs someone.
Well,
with
he
an
also
axe.
karate chops the guy,
No, he does.
which
Yeah.
which knocks him out? Question mark.
It's dumb.
Yep.
It's real dumb.
Anyway, that's that bad guy dead.
Anyway, they're back in Vietnam now, and
Yep.
the really loyal crew member is going to stay with the boat while Chuck Norris and Jack Tucker go on the raft.
I would have rated this movie a goodie if that guy had just been like, "Yeah, I'm taking this boat," and left.
Yeah.
Because there was a moment where they zoom in on the guy at the boat, and I was like, oh my god, is he going to take the boat away? I would love it if he just took the boat. And Tucker's like, oh man, my most loyal crew member.
It's so dumb. Then literally nothing happens for 20 minutes. He's sneaking around the bush, occasionally karate chops a soldier, occasionally throws a nade that doesn't really explode that much. I wrote down, that was a disappointing nade many times in my notes. There's some incredible explosions, later.
Yeah, the nades do seem like firecrackers. They didn't even use the whole pack of firecrackers. They used one of them.
Yeah, it was weird.
Which was unfortunate. But I forgived it.
As you mentioned, he finds the camp, the prisoner of war camp. He sets up a bunch of explosions, cuts
He
his way
sets up
in.
a lot of explosives. Not a bunch. There's literally like a minute and a half scene of him pulling out explosives from his bag.
Now, question about this, actually, that I forgot. I forgot this question, but I had it in my mind while I was watching this scene. He then blows up the majority of this camp. He blows up pretty much all the buildings. How does he not know that the prisoners are in those buildings?
I think he checks. I think he has a look and also knows camps like these, they would be held in those cages.
Yeah, I guess.
Because we do see the cages later on, which are very clearly separate buildings that are set aside. So I'm sure he knew and planned around it.
Maybe. I'm probably just questioning the IQ level of Chuck Norris in this movie.
I disagree. I think it would just be bad luck if any of the soldiers were in those buildings, being interrogated at the time.
Oh, that's true. And we do see later that there's only 5 soldiers that are prisoners anyway.
Yeah, but I think that's a risk he's willing to take to get the nice visuals for the movie. Because, oh boy, these explosions are awesome.
They're incredible. These explosions are amazing.
Because they're like wooden huts that just boosh.
Yeah.
And then they just burn for 5 minutes.
But he can't find the prisoners. They have apparently been transported upriver. So...
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Before I forget, one other thing. He went into the camp and set up explosions while it was going from, dusk. Right? The sun was going down, he was setting up the explosions. The action sequence lasts for maybe 3 minutes, and then he's going back to the raft and now it's daytime again? That all took place in 12 hours.
I don't know. I don't know how the time frame works. I didn't question it. I was too invested in, I liked the sneaking into the fence and having to cut the wires and stuff. I thought that was good. And then the explosions were awesome. That was definitely the best part of the movie for me, was this base blowing up.
Yeah.
Because the explosions looked great. But then, he finds out soldier buddies aren't there. They've been moved. And so he has to follow them on the river, which is great.
Yep.
He just so happens to bump into the trucks transporting the troops just as they need to cross a river.
There's some pretty great raft jumping stunts in this.
Yeah, what is this scene? So he comes in, there's 7 armored trucks full of Vietnamese soldiers with guns, and he's on a Kevlar boat, Lamau, with one mounted turret.
Yep.
And he's just taking out all these people
without
once being shot. Throughout this movie, no one gets shot on the good guy's side.
Nope.
And it's a tragedy. Oh, no, that's not true. Some of them die.
They get blown up, though. They don't get shot. They all get blown up. So, he finds the trucks.
He shoots them up.
Yeah, he shoots the trucks.
He kills most of them.
Yeah.
But one of them pulls out a bazooka, and then he bazookas the boat. And then they laugh evilly because they think they've killed Chuck Norris and stuff.
Yeah.
But then he slow-mo bursts out of the water and just mows them down, and they go, "Rah!"
That's right.
It's a very iconic scene. Then they get to the shore.
There's the truck, and Chuck Norris is shooting at the truck. While that's happening, some Coast Guards rock in. They shoot the guy who's on the turret on the boat, on the main boat, on the dinghy. So he's dead. So Jack Tucker swims across. He arms that. And then the guy with the bazooka at the truck blows up the boat and kills Jack, unfortunately.
R.I.P. Tucker.
Rip Tucker.
What is he say? I'll see you in hell. And I was like, haha, Star Wars quote.
And then out of nowhere, a helicopter just comes out and the ladder drops down. And all of the American soldiers get on the ladder and they take off.
They fly off into the sunset. It ends with the helicopter landing in, like, the town square as the Vietnamese president or whatever is like, we can finally put a rest to this case that there are no American soldiers left in Vietnam, and they burst in, and that's how it ends.
They burst in, freeze frame, end of movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the ending.
It was okay.
Some people were saying it's a bit anticlimactic, but I thought it was a good way of ending it. Like, haha.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The whole movie was just anticlimactic, in a way.
Definitely the explosions were the best part in that one scene. They put the budget in there.
Look, it's a big old oldie. It's a big oldie.
Yeah, it's an oldie. It does not age well.
No. But movies like this that are war fantasies, particularly about, the Vietnam War, just don't hold up well, unfortunately. Because we're looking through them with a modern eye. And also, as an action movie, also probably not very good.
Yeah. It had its moments, but I'm definitely going to rate it an oldie.
2 oldies.
I'd be interested to see the sequels.
Yeah, so there are 2 sequels. The first one came out in 1985. It's called Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. So the story about this one was that it was filmed back-to-back with the one that we just watched. They were both filmed at the same time. And the sequel, which is actually a prequel, which is about him in the war, was meant to come out first. So it was meant to be the prequel first, then this one as the sequel.
That makes sense.
But according to the director of the first one, he didn't do the second one, which is actually the first one. Great, 3 ninjas again. They messed up the release order. According to him, it was decided that the sequel, which was the one that we just saw, was a much better film.
Yep.
And would be a more successful first movie. So they switched the titles and release dates, and this one came out first, with the planned first film being a prequel. Which is interesting. Yeah, apparently 2 is just like a straight up action, rather than it's trying to, I don't know, be like we got to rescue prisoners or anything. So that's cool. And then in 1988, there is Braddock Missing in Action 3, which is actually directed by Chuck Norris's brother. And that one's an actual sequel. The plot is James Braddock returns to Vietnam 12 years after the end of the war to rescue his thought-dead Vietnamese wife and son.
Well, I'm just looking up. It doesn't look like they have much better Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah. I don't think they have critic scores, do they?
They don't have critic scores at all, the other 2.
Yeah.
They have audience scores of 40% each.
Okay.
So I think they're probably just more of the same.
But with that being said, did you have a sequel?
Well, you see, you take Braddock and you put him in a war... Oh, wait.
Yep. It's kind of, yeah.
No, I don't have a sequel.
Look, part of me is like, I want to know what happens directly after this. Like, does he start another war?
Yeah.
Is that what happens? He just starts the war again? Or does he get arrested? Or
here's what happens. They burst in.
Yeah.
He becomes, I'm going to say, like a political person. He gets into politics.
Probably, yeah.
And it's like, hey, these people were in here, you guys lied, and we get some of the big guys arrested because of him. But they're not a big fan of him after this, so they send assassins after him. This is during the election, where he's running for president. And so we see an action film of him, going through a campaign to run for president, while being sent assassins, and that he has to kung fu defeat.
I'd watch it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's pretty exciting. And of course he wins the presidency and becomes president.
Anyway, next segment.
It's time for raving reviews.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can tell we're quite tired now from going through all of this. But there was quite a lot of good reviews for this one, actually.
All right.
So I'm just going to blast through them.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oluk says, quit your whining, liberals. It's a guy's flick. Solid Snake Chuck.
That's painful. That's a painful review.
Yep. It's quit your whining, comma. So it's pause.
Yeah.
Liberals.
Yeah.
And then it's got a dash. It's a guy's flick. Solid Snake Chuck.
Well, I guess we are not only liberals, but we're also not guys, according to this review.
Yikes.
That's got to be 5 out of 5, right?
It's 3 out of 5.
Oh, he's not. Okay.
Yeah. I thought you there. We have Eric. It's an entertaining bad movie. Great for those times when you're bored out of your mind on a rainy day.
Sure, I guess. How about you just watch a new movie?
Whoa, got him.
Not go back to this one. I don't know. 2, I think.
Yeah, 2 out of 5. There you go. Crash says one of Chuck's most well-known films.
Definitely.
Not sure why it's a pile of poo like the rest.
That's a good review. I like that. That's going to be 1 star, right? 1 star?
It's 2 out of 5 again.
Oh, another 2. All right.
Yeah, it's another 2. Mishka says, Chuck Norris is the man. You can deduct 2 stars from my rating if you don't like Chuck Norris facts.
Wait, hang on. Hang on a second. So, my rating for the movie is da-da-da. If you don't like Chuck Norris, then my rating is -2 stars.
Yes.
That's an interesting way to review something.
Chuck Norris is the man. You can deduct 2 stars from my rating if you don't like Chuck Norris facts.
I'm going to go 3 stars.
Ooh, close. It was 2 again.
Oh.
You could rate it a 0 out of 5 if you don't like Chuck Norris.
Another 2. Interesting.
Then we have Olympus with Chuck fucking Norris, full stop.
Great. Is that it?
That was all caps. With a full stop, though, not an explanation.
Not an S. Ooh.
Chuck fucking Norris.
4.5.
Ooh, you were really close. It was 3.5.
Oh,
you were
okay.
on it. That was a good vibe. Yeah, you picked up on that. That was good. No.
Yeah.
But not a full 5 out of 5. Derek says, yeah, a rubber raft that deflects bullets.
I know, right? No, because the raft is made out of the same thing bulletproof vests are made out of.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, a rubber raft that deflects bullets.
How dare you do a typo.
But yeah, deflects bullets.
2 again.
4 out of 5.
What?
Quite enjoyed the deflecting bullets. All right, Young says, this is supposed to be a great movie.
Is it?
I mean, yeah, most movies I think are supposed to be good movies.
That's true. That's the review?
Yep.
1 star, 1 star.
It was 4 out of 5.
Okay.
And I put, this is my last review, and I put it in only because when I read it, I laughed. Which was, Lowell says, I thought this movie was going to suck. And it did.
That's us. That's our reaction.
Yeah. It made me.
Oh, that's funny. Just 2 stars.
And it's a 1 out of 5.
It's 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's the episode.
Whew. I think we're done. We're definitely done.
If you disagree with us, or if you agree with us, or if you're an American who wants to yell at us for our views on the Vietnam War,
or if you're a Vietnamese and want to yell at us,
then there are so many ways to get in contact. We've got an email address. We have got a Facebook page. We have got an Instagram's accounts. We're on all the apps. You can review us on an app, and that way we will see your message there. So all that stuff, all the links in the description. Also vote for next year's episode, for next year's year that we cover if you want. Also, this is probably the last time we're going to mention it unless someone does donate, but there is a donation link in the description. But Zach, this is a free show, so, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but if you do, it would be greatly appreciated. And that would go towards
absolutely
some stuff next year. Maybe some streams, maybe
watching some good movies.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
No, almost definitely not.
Yeah.
What's next week, though?
Next week, you have a choice of many, many movies. So many movies. 2 whole movies.
Okay.
One of them's quite obvious, I think the one you should pick. The other one is Falling in Love with Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep. They fall in love.
I love those 2 performers.
Yeah, they are good performers, to be fair. Love me some Robert De Niro.
It's just called Falling in Love. Like...
Yeah, well, he gets to the point. They're falling in love.
Maybe the twist is that they don't at the end. Maybe it subverts the genre.
Do you know what doesn't subvert the genre?
The movie we just watched.
Supergirl. It's about the cousin of Superman. It's based on a comic book series barely known by literally anyone.
I love the character of Supergirl. Big fan. Love the comics. Love the TV show.
Love women.
Yes.
I love your face. You guys can't see it.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's given. Like, people are great.
Yeah.
Old people.
Oh, are you saying you're against women, Sandro?
Yeah, personally, it's PC gone mad.
Yeah, why do we have women? But yeah, Supergirl.
Look, yeah, it's obviously... last time I watched Supergirl was the same time that I rented Superman 4 Quest for Peace from the video busters, and they both sucked. But I'm interested to return to Supergirl.
Hell yeah, let's do some Supergirl.
What do you predict we're going to rate it?
Old.
Okay.
I don't know, actually. Maybe I give it a goodie and you give it an oldie.
Maybe. It could be so bad it's good.
You love the franchise too much, though, I feel.
Yeah, I like the character too much. I know too much about the character.
Yeah, you like the character in the comic series and stuff, too much, where I am not as invested, so I might go, so bad it's good, sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas it's more painful. It hits you more deeply, where it matters. So I'm going to say I rated a goodie, you give it an oldie.
That's next week, episode 99 as well. We're so close to the triple digits.
We're very close.
Wrapping it up with the best quote from the movie you just saw. My favourite is, I'm looking for Jack Tucker. Is he around? Oh yeah, he'll be here in a moment. And then he just falls down from the roof. It's good. I laughed. I actually laughed.
Yeah. My favourite quote is, I'll see you in hell. Which is a great quote. Not in this movie, though. Hey, Lamau, dab, cause Star Wars. It's this quote from Star Wars.
You would watch this movie in hell.
I would. Look, in hell, there's probably bad movies. This is probably one of the better ones.